Just got home with this 2007 Pontiac G6 GT convertible. This was a Facebook Marketplace find. Had been sitting about 5 years. Previous owner was deceased and his family was trying to free up space in the garage. It was described as tires don't hold air and it won't start. And in the pictures they had a variety of jumper cables and battery chargers and such lined up around the hood. Gave them their full asking price, put air in the tires, tightened the battery terminals, put a jumper box on it, and it fired right up like it had just been shut off yesterday. It's got some very old stinky gas in it, but it is running. Got home, swapped in a good battery, put in some oil, some coolant, some power steering fluid, and I'm just letting it warm up here and come back to life. The family said it hadn't run in at least 3 years. That sounds about right. These have the bigger 3900 V6, which gives quite a bit of power to these cars. I had a black one. I did a couple little videos on fixing the top, but I never did a full video on it. And those videos got a lot of interest, so this one deserves a full video. No rust on the car. Just a little bit of door dings and stuff on this side. It was in a 2-car garage back then like this, and the lady would park here and open her door and hit it. It looks like tires are garbage. They're all dry rotted. This one's got a big bubble in the sidewall. See it right there. And they're dated 2010, even though they're good years. They said this car was his baby. And I think that's true. I think it just sat for a few years. Got a little bit neglected. A few little issues with it. Went to try out all the lights and such, and the hazard switch got stuck. So I ended up popping that out and unplugging it to get the hazards to stay off. It has heated leather seats. This was a fancy stereo back in 2007, but now it's a dinosaur. And that 1 through 6 is for the CD changer, 6-disc CD changer. This side just has really a couple little dings. It's hard to beat it up. This guy, he put these little trim pieces on here. It's got the classic pinstripe. And he had that same little guard on the door and along the front fender. It was his baby. Even though this was a main car, last inspection was 2018. And like I said, it had no coolant in it. It was down about 2 quarts of oil. I haven't gotten underneath to see what's leaking. I'm hoping it's not a head gasket, but it does seem to be coming up to temperature. These are cool because they have this retractable hardtop. And I have tried this once already. You see it rolls down the windows. I gotta keep holding this button. It's flipping up the trunk back there. And here goes the roof. Folds the roof away in the trunk, closes that front cover, closes the trunk cover. I'm holding the button this whole time. Still holding. Hear that ding? It says top move complete. So it's all the way down. And then to go back up, Gotta hold that button. Windows go down. Trunk lid comes up. Front cover comes up. And up comes the top. These tops can be problematic. They've got a really complex hydraulic system, a bunch of little micro switches that tell the computer. It's doing its final latch here, and I'm still holding it. And we wait to see top move complete down here. Wait for it. There we go. That's how you know it's locked in position. There are no other, traditional convertible, you'll have a lever to snap there. Everything's automated on this. And there's these little micro switches up here in the front panel and all throughout. And the computer looks for, it activates it, it releases it, it looks for that switch to be released, and then it keeps it in motion until it sees it activate the next switch. And then it'll activate the next portion, and so on and so forth. If any of those switches don't work, the thing just freezes, and the top will be stuck where you left it. You may or may not be able to put it back in one direction or the other. Fortunately, this one's working well. Just 85,000 miles. Do have a check engine light. It says just under a half tank of gas, but I went to the gas station to top it off, thinking I'll mix in some fresh with this old stuff, and it wouldn't take any more gas. It burped it back out. So I think it's full, and I'm wondering if the sending unit is no good, and that's like where it defaults to. I don't know. Trying to get the coolant to burp out. It's just now starting to come out kind of lukewarm, even though this is set at 90 and the gauge says it's fully warmed up. Gonna have some stuff to do there and figure out this engine light. But everything else on the car seems to work. The lights work. The locks, power locks work. And the windows work. This driver's window is stuck down the first time I rolled it down, but I slammed the door while holding the button, and that freed it up, and now it does seem to work like it's supposed to. So I'll call that a win. It's got a small exhaust leak somewhere up front near the engine. Hopefully just a little donut seal or something. Let's see what it's doing here. Waiting for this coolant to bleed out. No, it's still holding where it was. That's mostly fresh stuff I put in. I put in about a gallon. The guy did throw in another wheel, so I have a spare wheel in addition to the compact spare that it came with. Let's hook up a scan tool and see what it says. All kinds of stuff here, probably from the voltage being low. When I first got the car started, I just had a jumper box hooked up to the old battery, and I disconnected the jumper box and it wasn't happy. So I am fairly certain a lot of these codes are going to be voltage related. Let's start with that engine light. Evap vent circuit P0449. If you saw my video on the Sierra HD, you know what that's about. The vent for the evap system is probably no good, or disconnected, or something about that. So that's not, but the fact that it set this right away, just like the truck did, tells me it's probably electrical in nature. Obviously circuit, and the wiring's chewed by a rodent, which there is some rodent evidence on this car, or the valve itself is electrically shot. So I'm going to clear every code out of here. Quick erase all, and see what happens after that. And I'm still questioning this cooling system. These are blowing kind of lukewarm, even though it's set at 90. But when I rev it up, there's that terrible exhaust leak. When I rev it up, the temperature really spikes here. So I'm hoping it's just an air bubble, and it hasn't quite worked itself out yet. The gauge doesn't move, so there's no for sure way to know. Actually, back to our scanner. Let's go back to our live data for the engine and see what the computer is seeing for temperature. See our fuel tank level, percent remaining 37. I'm questioning that. Then of course I'm questioning the whole thing, because if that vent is screwed up, maybe it wouldn't take gas. I don't know. Been running 45 minutes here trying to get it up to temperature. So there's our coolant temperature, 208. Kind of matches what the gauge says. This is still kind of just lukewarm. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. It gets hotter when you rev it up. Boy, that exhaust is gnarly, and not in a good way. Level's about the same. Maybe it just needs to be driven. Pulled the transmission dipstick, and it's not showing anything. You have to pull the plastic cover, and it's way in the back here. Okay, I added about a quart of transmission fluid to it, and it did move under its own power. I'm going to drive it up this ramp so I can slide underneath and check for massive leaks and see what's up with this exhaust. Alright, I've already been under there with it running. You wouldn't hear a word I was saying, so I'll go back down again and tell you what I see. It's got a small amount of surface rust down here, but nothing that I'm too concerned about. There's a lot of wetness up here from burping the coolant, but nothing was pouring out running. So that's a good sign. Check out these inner rocker panels here. Pretty solid. Let's get a light. Solid. I mean, remember, 18 going on 19-year-old car. All this is just surface here. No holes. No soft spots. And these love to rust the rockers. And this is a plastic cover, the black, but this is metal, and this is not rusted. So that's a good sign. G6s, that's the first thing to go on them, is the rockers. We got a leak in the exhaust right there, right behind that little flex joint. I don't know if this was a catalytic converter that they cut out, got stolen, or just a rust patch. But it looks like this really should have the whole front Y pipe. I'm going to price out this whole front Y pipe. If that's 150 or 200 bucks online, I'm just going to change it, because that's probably not the only hole in it, and the whole thing's been cobbled together. If I recall correctly, convertible specific stuff is well, no one makes this exhaust, either aftermarket or factory, so you'll have to go, you know, cobble things together or go to a custom place and pay a lot. But I believe it's just from here back to the back of the car that's convertible specific. I believe this Y pipe is available. I think I priced that out on the other car before. Didn't end up needing it, but I considered it. I don't see a massive transmission leak. There's a little wetness here, but I think that's from where I burping the coolant. This, you can see on the edge of the pan right there. So nothing is pouring out here, and nothing here is terrible news. So my report from underneath is a thumbs up. Added a quart of tranny fluid, so I'm going to back it off, shift it through the gears, and check the level again. I added a quart of fluid because there was nothing showing on the stick, so I'm just going to put it through the gears a few times and check it again. Didn't see any big leaks down below, so something is leaking or seeping somewhere. Still nothing. So I'm going to add another probably quart and a half this time. That's 2.5 quarts, and it's just starting to show right there on the stick, and it should be up here between these two dots. So I'm going to throw in another half quart. This was a full jug, so now I've added 2.5 quarts. Okay, total of 2.5 quarts in. I shifted it back and forth through the gears. It's way back here. Dipstick too. Right there. Barely. This thing is bone dry. Throw another quart in. Okay, that's 3.5 quarts. And it's showing on the back here, but not on the front. I'm just going to take it around the block and see what happens. So after I shut it off and restarted it, the coolant level went way down. Nothing in there. So I'm going to top that off. I've got a total of 4.5 quarts in this transmission. I had 3 quarts of oil. So this thing's got some leaks I'm going to have to track down. I'm going to put some coolant in it, and I'm going to take this thing for a spin. The tires are terrible, but it does shift and it does stop. The whole car shakes, the wheel shakes, but it does shift, even with the dry transmission. You can hear it's terrible. Okay, just got back from the very short test drive. Pulled the cover off. There's no fluid on that trans dipstick again, but it still shifted like it's supposed to. And now I'm watching to see what the coolant level does. You can see it right there. It's bubbling. I'll give it a minute and let it burp. Hopefully not a head gasket. It was very low, so I'm hoping it's just bubbles working their way through. The heat is not fantastic. It's lukewarm at best. I'm thinking that's still got a bubble. I hear a hissing noise. I don't know if that's coming out. My other one, this reservoir had a little crack in the bottom, and it was a very cheap reservoir, and it's pretty easy to change. Just that, and 2 hoses. But it runs, it drives, it stops, it shifts, and it was $1,000. So I told the guy to give him $1,000 before I even knew it did any of that. So I'm going to call it a win for today. Paint's really nice. It's dirty. It's been in a garage. Needs tires. Needs the exhaust. And it needs a good looking over for these leaks, because it was very low on oil. It was very low on power steering fluid. It was very low on trans fluid, and it was very low on coolant. But the washer fluid was full. And the brakes, surprisingly, did not leak out and worked like they're supposed to. It's usually, if you're gonna lose one thing on an old car sitting, it's the brakes. So I'm gonna call this one a win, and I'll put the top down and show you what it looks like with the top down, because I didn't do that.